An idea suddenly comes to me, but it's a really bad idea. By the gods, I'm going to have a blast. Tenoch did tell us that he was planning to seduce two females tonight. Wouldn't it be a real shame if someone came along and took them from under his muzzle? Yeah, admittedly, I never really practiced my fun games on anyone of the opposite sex, but I always managed to lure males into my bed. It shouldn't be fundamentally different. I just had to adjust my vocabulary, and I still limit the swearing too. But I don't know if they're into that kind of stuff, or maybe they are. Who knows? Now, in order to put my plan to motion, I first need to find the list, which shouldn't be particularly complex, since he tends to stick out. As a few minutes are starting to a crowd, I finally cast a glimpse of him near the beer barrels, talking to two feline ladies dressed in what appears to be silk robes. The first had cap for a white coat, except for a few black lines at the base of her neck, probably her brand. Her blue eyes leaves her arms visible, but it looks at her musculature. She's probably a dancer. And her sounds a poor dress in an almost identical outfit. The tambourine attached to her hip sleeves little doubt as to her profession. They are both laughing politely at what I presume is a joke made by Tenoch. Good, Erik. The game is on. It's time to show what you can do. I'll go over to the group real quick and position myself next to the giving him a little shoulder tap that causes him to give me a surprised look. Tenoch, there you are. It's not very nice not to have waited for me at my performance. Yeah, but why are you? I'll give him time to answer his question in terms of two legs. But I can understand that you were in a hurry. Who would want to leave such lovely ladies waiting? He grabbed the cat's paw and leaned in for a kiss before doing the same with the cougar. Naturally, sure I've seen someone do this before. It should work, right? By gods, I'm totally out of my element. Why couldn't he seduce two males? I quickly straightened up, still grinning. My name is Erik, and it's a great pleasure to meet you two. Ooh, what a lovely greeting, and twice in one evening, gentlemen. You sure know how to make me feel special. Twice I give Tenoch a puzzled look. He just smiles back at me. Obviously, he's pulled out all the stops too. I guess it's no surprise to anyone. I'm afraid my companion's name is Log. An impressive performance you gave us, Erik. You flattered me, my dear. I have no doubt that you could have done the same. It just so happened that this is what we were talking about before we were interrupted. Oh, really? Lord Tenoch wanted to know when we will be on stage. Lord Tenoch is eager to judge your talents. I have no doubt about it. Who knows, maybe I could even join in with you. I'm sure the three of us could be most entertaining. Turn briefly to Tenoch, giving him a look of fourth innuendo. He answers me with a grin, obviously amused by my little game. Let's admit that this is a show I can only hope to see one day. I'm sure I would enjoy it very much. We have nothing against a collaboration, Erik. We could always discuss this a little later in private. The white cat's response suddenly makes me realize a major flaw in my idea. Seduce these two orders to annoy Tenoch. Excellent. But what do I do next with two felines? I've already tried to be intimate with a female, and let's just say it didn't exactly work. It's really not my forte. Okay, let's focus. That's a problem for later. For now, let's finish one step of the plan. Must have been silent a little too long, realizing my mistake. The Clara gives me an intrigued look. Fortunately for me, she is quickly distracted by the invention of war on the stage. Hope you're having as much fun as we are, but maybe it's time to do something together. If these gentlemen will please line up on my right and these ladies on my left, we'll be more than happy to perform a carol for you. Ooh, a group dance, perfect. This is exactly what I need. I'll be able to show off what I'm capable of, and I'll have time to chat with Tenoch before each move with my partner. After all, what's the point of doing all this if I can't directly make fun of him alone? I turn to the cougar Freya and give her my best smile. Will you give me the immense honor to dance with me? Gladly. I talk of my paw when she comes to grasp with hers as We joined the two rows of dancers already forming the center of the courtyard. Tenoch does the same with Boy, and we soon find ourselves side by side with males or partners facing us. I know exactly what you're doing, by the way. The lizard talks to me while looking at Laurie with a smile. I answer him in the same way. I have no idea what you're talking about. Don't take me for a fool, but it doesn't matter. It won't work. Lots to learn. The music starts and I put an arm around. I put an arm behind my back before bending over, greeting my partner. Finally comes to dance. 3 steps forward, starting with my right leg. Once I get to Fred's level, I raise my right paw to face hers. Our palms brush against each other, but never totally touching. Now 2 turns to the right, and then the same thing, but raising our left paws and turn the other way. I look on my eye to observe Tenoch. I must admit that I'm impressed. His form is absolutely perfect. I didn't imagine him to be such a good dancer. After our 2 rounds of dancing, 3 steps back and we return to our positions. It will take more than a dance and some pretty work to do them, you know? Don't worry, I have other calls to play. You're not doing all this because you're jealous that I've got my eyes on someone else, are you? Me? Jealous? Don't make me laugh. I mean, I appreciate the attention I get, obviously, but jealous? Never. I'm just in the mood to mess with him, that's all, really. Now it's our partners who join us, and the dance begins again. Right paw, 2 turns, left paw, 2 turns. Then they return to their places. If not our jealousy, why this little game? May I feel like pissing off the ability? Excuse me? They appreciate the songs as a speech earlier, but you weren't the most supportive. Tenoch gives me a surprise look before taking 2 steps forward. I was say, we eventually join our partners halfway between our rows. Raise my paw, putting it in front of the cat's paw. Then we try again. At the same time, I watch Tenoch dance with the crew. I'm amused to see how slightly troubled look. We return our position before we do our discussing. Honestly, don't see what more I could have done. Not agreeing with her would have been a good start. Would you rather have lied to you then? Move forward again to meet our partner in order to find nothing but emptiness. Laurie and Freya are both gone. As I turn my head, I spot them a little further away, laughing as they point at us. We quickly join them, curious to see what caused them to leave. Tired away? Oh no, far from it. You simply thought that you could probably prefer to dance with each other. Of course not. What makes you say that? You're not paying attention to us. That's absolutely not true. I was completely switched places in the third movement, and neither of you noticed. Oh, I see why they decided to leave. Now that's not likely to end up on the list of my proudest moments. In any case, going to knock. Thanks for the wine, Erik. Good luck with the contest. We'll leave you, gentlemen. No doubt you'll find something to talk about. That's been a problem for you so far. With a movement, 2 females turn around and disappear into the crowd, leaving us both stunned. There goes my plans for the evening. After another movement, when 2 females turn around and disappear into the crowd, leaving us both stunned. There go my plans for the evening. After another moment of silence, I turn to Tenoch and our eyes meet. Another second passes, we finally burst out laughing together, caught in various giggles that neither of us can control. It takes us a few minutes to recover, so much so that while the ribs start to hurt by the time I manage to stop. My guts have laughed like that in a while. I guess we got what we deserved. That's one way of looking at it. Anyway, confirms what I thought. Namely, females are a mystery to me. There was a brief moment of silence before we burst out laughing again. Fortunately, it lasts much less longer this time. I don't know if my lips could have taken much more. At least I can say that this evening wasn't boring. I suppose I'm bad at entertaining ability than flirting with felines. I have no doubt that you are as good at other things too as far as nose are. I have no doubt that you are good at other things too as far as nose are concerned. I'm ready to see a demonstration of such talents. It didn't take long to bounce back, did it? But I told you, darling, patience. I can't keep playing with him like this indefinitely, though. Even he'll eventually get bored. I give him a little something to hold on to. But once the contest is over, I will have to celebrate my victory. Why not do it up close and personal with a foreign ambassador? He grins, and I can see in his eyes that I have caught his attention again. Good. I like all those stunts and games tonight. You said it ended too soon. Are you really sure you're not trying to buy my vote? I wouldn't do that. After all, even if I lose, I'll need someone to console me. Also, I'm entitled to a date regardless of the outcome of the contest. I'm certainly not going to complain about an arrangement like this one. He laughs again. At least I'm pleased to see that he doesn't seem to be upset with me for making him miss out on what would undoubtedly have been a pleasant night in charming company. After grabbing 2 more cups of beer, not natty, to my dismay, we move away from the table. We move away from the party for a bit and sit on one of the castle stairs. Let's say I can't help but observe the lizard, who himself has his gaze lost on the courtyard, and find him, his head bobbing in rhythm with the music that is reaching us. A small chuckle escapes from my lips, brings his attention back to me. What's so funny? Oh, nothing. I was just thinking that if all the nobles of Kazal are like you, maybe I've been in the wrong court to become a bard. I was considering transfer. Don't pack your bags too quickly. You might be disappointed. What, are you an exception? Do not sigh before looking away, watching the party in the courtyard again. Not really. If we were in Kazal, you'd probably find me as boring as the rest of them. He chose briefly, not really putting any effort into it. Though certainly a bit less boring than them, I'm still me, after all. What's different about this place? You don't exactly strike me as boring. I came to Foxfire 3 years ago, and I should be leaving in a few months, a year at the most if I'm lucky. And once I get home, Father will want to prepare me to take the leaders of the family, and that will include a lot of partying and drinking. So while I'm here, I intend to really enjoy it. He turns to me with a grin, but I have a hard time finding him sincere. It's not clear he enjoys being here, being able to do as he pleases. Going back to the Empire means the end of this life. In the way he talks about his country, I don't get the impression he's looking forward to being home. So it can't be easy. I'm not supposed to give me a puzzled look, clearly confused by my answer. What are you sorry about? I have no reason to complain. I have exactly what I want. What? Do you think that all I want was to party and have sex as often as possible? As nice as life is, I have big ambitions. Being the head of my family gives me an opportunity to be more than just a name on a family tree. Leave my mark in history to make sure I remember for millennia to come. I'm willing to give up all the parties and orgies for this. I'll be honest, I didn't expect that from him. I guess I shouldn't have judged him on the first impression he gives. But it's an ambition I can understand. After all, isn't that what we hope for as artists too? We want to have an impact be remembered long after we're gone. I understand, in a way, although I have to admit that you surprised me. I didn't think you were so smart, determined, attractive, and ambitious. Ambitious is the word I was looking for, and potentially arrogant. Hey, that's part of the charm. Roll my eyes to the sky and to not laugh loudly. He then slashed his thigh before standing up. We're gonna try haven't given up hope at the end of the night in someone's bed, so unless you change your mind. I didn't. We'll talk about this after the contest, I promise. I can always hope in that case it's time for me to get back on the hunt. He winks at me before heading back to the party while I sigh heavily. From what he told me, he only has a limited amount of time left here, so I can understand why he's in such a hurry to have fun. As for me, I'm staying here a few more minutes to finish my drink, and I wonder, will I be remembered for what I do as a bard? Or for what I did in Skarna? As I reach the highest floor of the building, I hear a female laugh echoing through the hallway. Someone tells me that Tenoch has found some comedy to tell last night's festivities. He's obviously not done having fun. Good for him. But this day is shorter than it should, and I'm sure he has things to do too. He probably needs someone to remind him of his duties. What a wonderful coincidence that I happen to be around. Or a valuable friend, always ready to call his buddies to order. So I walk down the hallway towards the stores unnoticed by the gods. They don't even try to be discreet. Oh Lord, Tenoch, You're tickling me. I told you you like my tail. They seem to be having fun. I almost regret having to interrupt them. Almost is a word. I cleared my throat, preparing to speak in a deeper tone of voice, so the knock won't immediately recognize me. Then I knock on the door. Or the knock. You're one of regarding matters related to the competition. I can hear them. I can hear these sounds of objects crash on the floor from the inside of the room. What exactly were they doing there? Fuck! Just a minute. I'm coming. I lean against the wall next to the door, holding back from humming to make the time pass more quickly. Fortunately, I don't have to wait for long. A little white goat eventually emerges from Tenoch's babble, giving me a barrel's look as he blusters before scurrying off down the corridor. A few moments later, it's a lizard himself who comes out of the room, looking around the hallway with a serious expression. So, what's going on, Erik? What are you doing here? I offer him a wide grin. In response, he looks at me with an increasingly suspicious look. There's absolutely no emergency, is there? No, but it could have been really urgent. And imagine what would happen if a servant had found you in that situation. Besides, we could hear you from the floor below. I'm sure everyone down there is thanking me for stopping this ruckus. I'm exaggerating a bit, but he has no way of knowing that. Tenoch lets out a loud sigh. Tenoch lets out a long sigh. He stands in front of me, slowly running his paws over his muzzle. You know, I have enough authority to have you thrown in the dungeon for a few hours. But you won't, will you? After all, I'm just here to be a good friend. I mean, it's already well in the morning. You are coming back today. The contest is tomorrow. I'm sure you have a lot of work on your hands, Ambassador. Open his mouth to answer me. He opens his mouth to answer before closing a bolt to then having even another side. I hate that you're right. I want you to know that. There, you see? What will I do to help you? You have a very special way of helping people. I'll give you that. Yeah, you see? What will I do to help you? You have a very special way of helping people. I give you that. And that's why I'm loved. You shouldn't push it too far, buddy. Let's not go wink at him. Okay, I'll slow it down. My work here is done anyway. I've reminded you of your duties. It's time for me to get back to my own. I still need to train with Akhet. I try to go down to my room when Tenoch comes and grabs me by the wrist, pinning me back to the wall. He then comes to stand in front of me, blocking me in place while he puts an arm on my head, forcing my ears down. Tenoch, you didn't think you'd get off that easy, did you? He comes and puts his muzzle right in front of mine, so our eyes plunge to each other's. At the same time, I feel something slowly coming to grasp my ankle. Is it his tail? Yeah, I was having a really good time. And he came and interrupted me at the worst possible moment. His voice is a little deeper than usual, and there's a slight growling. I can't help but gulp in anticipation. On top of that, I can feel my pants tightening more than they normally do around my quads. I'm not going to hide it. Despite my slight concern, I like what's happening a lot. I'm sorry. Oh, really? Because it's always been a few times now that you're having fun cock blocking me. At bass last night, and now this morning, you seem to really enjoy it. Well, I mean, it doesn't matter because, you moves my muzzle forward, placing it right next to my ear, and I almost feel like I can hear him purring. The gods. I'm sorry, everyone has their limits. I won't be able to keep my promise. Wherever he asks me, I know I'll fall into his arms. I can play that game. I can play that little game too. Wait, what? A soft chuckle to not steps back, leaving me the space to leave. I'm lost. What is he doing? And now I understand. Oh no. I'm the one doing this to people, certainly not the other way around. Go on, get out of here. After all I have to do is fulfill. And you, he smiles, he points to my quads and a clearly visible bulge in my pants. You obviously have some pressing issues to deal with. He burst out laughing, and I feel myself blush. I have to resist the urge to praise my paws in front of my crotch. I will only look more ridiculous. Shit, I'm really not used to having my own tricks used against me. How could I have been stupid enough to fall for that? No way to focus. We need to get this under control, so that it doesn't affect you. Be proud of your direction. I put a paw on my hip, try as best I can to give Tenoch a big smile return. This is more complicated than I thought it would be. I guess that's what I deserve, But you're right about one thing. I need to take care of my little problem. Oh, little, really? Ambassador, I thought you were more open-minded than that. Tackling the sides, really? I'm not slippery last again. Well, at least we'll leave on equal terms. As I final grin to the lizard, I head back to the little forest. I really need to rehearse with Akhet, but not before I take care of my problem with my room, obviously. I guess I always go bother to not go little game. Seduction should be more than enough to distract me. All that's left is to find the lizard. As I'm about to descend the main staircase, I hear voices echoing from the floor above me. The strange thing is that I seem to recognize Jean's voice, but never heard him argue in such a harsh tone. I almost feel like it's someone else talking. I walk up the stairs as quietly as I can, but curiosity drives me to find out what's going on. Besides, if they're talking in the hallways, they don't mind being listened to, right? I've told you before, Sire, the Empire has no intention of accepting your offer. Sire, I've heard that before. I heard that somewhere before. That's what good Aunt called Akhet the first time he saw him. Please, my lord, think about it. You could double your entire production on a single investment. Casal does not, it will never accept you. Casal does not, it will never need your slaves. I will not change my mind on this matter. But perhaps the Emperor thinks otherwise. If I could communicate directly with him, I'm sure a wave of heat suddenly comes flooding down the stairs, and I can almost feel my hair singing. I'd rather not imagine how hot it is up there. I am hollering his voice here. My word is his words. It wouldn't be nice if you remember that, Sire. To speak to me in this is to speak to the Emperor himself. I apologize, my lord. I didn't mean to console me by pretending I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't doubt for a second that was never your intention. Speaking on silence ensues. A stranger here to not speak like this. Any form of teasing or playfulness that disappeared from his voice. Again, Lord Tenoch, I apologize, but I fear it is time for me to leave you. Don't worry, Sire anyone. It's all just a little hallway talk. Nothing official or important, right? A new silence, even from the staircase where I'm listening to them. I feel the tension between the two men. A series of clacking sounds then resounds down the stairs and gets closer to me. Eventually I see the lizard's interlocutor appear at the top. As it happens, he is an owl with gray feathers and of a certain age. He's dressed in a brown tunic, a long belt of cloth cinching it as his hips. The outfit reveals his brain, a thin line covered with bramble spines circling his neck before blooming into a single flower under the left side of his jaw. If I had any doubt about hearing Tenoch speak, I now know with certainty that he is Akkadian. Just like Akhet, he has two thin bars of gold under his eyes. Eyes that are, at the moment, heavily focused on me. It seems that I've managed to make a new friend. On my way, rabbit. The voice is authoritative, superior, and contemptuous. The urge to ask him to get out of my way is really, really strong. But today is not the best day to piss off the nobility. I could end up locked up somewhere or kicked out of the contest. So I slam myself against the wall without saying anything to let the owl through, which he does without even a thank you. It's as if I ceased to exist the moment I obeyed him. Charming fellow. Once the bird is gone, I go upstairs to join Tenoch The lizard is standing in the middle of the hallway, walking back to what I assume is his room. Tell me, do you almost set the castle on fire every time you have a discussion with never met? Erik, why am I not surprised that you were the one to spy on me? Come on, I'm not spying on anyone. I heard some noise I was here, that's all. Of course you did. Well, it doesn't mean that I only turn up the heat like this when I want to be seen anyway. You want me to... Wait, were you trying to get someone to listen to you? This smiles at me with ways well, all proud of himself. I'm not going to hide it. I'm having a hard time seeing why. My incomprehension must be showing since he suddenly sighs. Come with me. Well, where? Tenoch doesn't answer immediately. Takes me by the shoulder, guiding me to the stairs I just came up. He then whispers discreetly in my ears. If you wish to continue this conversation, I would prefer that it be several cell phone ears as prying as yours. Tonight, there's no one here. That's not in the hallway, but I assure you there are people behind each of these doors, and they are listening very carefully to what's going on. Following the Kazalian remark, I can't help but glance behind me. I almost expect to see the doors ajar and eyes spy on us from the darkness. That is not the case, of course. Tenoch continued to guide me, and I quickly realized which way we were going. Tenoch, yes? Tell me this isn't all just an excuse to get to my room. Not only, but if I can kill two birds with one stone, I won't complain. How do you know where I sleep anyway? I have my sources. He grins at me with a demon-amused expression, while I just sigh. I don't even know why I'm trying to ask him anyway. This way in my room, I settle down on my bed, expecting Tenoch to enter too. The lizard, however, is frozen at the door, looking in with an expression I can only describe as disbelief mixed with slight fear. I live in this mess. Hey, we're not here to talk about how I clean my room. Because you consider your room clean right now? Of course, I have no problem finding my stuff. You see, there? That's the corner where I put my shirts in a pile right there. You know what? I'll take your word for it. I don't need to know the details. To be honest, I'm not sure I want to. I don't see what he's complaining about. Sure, there are a couple of things lying around, but it works. That's what's important. With a sigh, he closes the door behind him, then leans against it. And you're right. I didn't come to talk about your organization. Even though I think it's urgent to do so, you have a problem, Erik. Let's focus and forget about my precise, convincing way of raising my stuff. It's more distracting than I expected, that's all. But to get back to what we were talking about in the hallway, of course, I wanted to be heard. Do you really think I'd be discussing my business in public place otherwise? Alright, in that case, why? Basically what I heard, you weren't chasing secrets, but I guess it should have stayed between you two anyway, am I right? Because what was important wasn't what we were talking about. It was to put an end in his place. He was beginning to think he was more important than he is. In that case, why not do it in the courtyard or any other place more visited than the hallway in front of your room? You should be sure you have a crowd to see and hear everything. But it's a little too public for my taste. I don't want to cause a diplomatic incident. Here I can pretend I wasn't aware that others were listening, but no one knows as well as I do that this is the case. Especially since he nearly bumped into me in the stairway. Indeed, it wasn't planned, but I'm certainly not going to complain. He now knows that the whole castle will quickly be aware that he's not in my good graces, and that's going to lose him some support. At the same time, I might be able to get some support from the nobles who oppose him. So you're lowering his position while increasing yours, right? Just by talking in the hallway? I'm going to learn more than that, but that's the idea, yes. I understand that thing, but I wonder why you explain your political strategy to me. Or do you feel I'm going to tell someone else about it? The image of Maelbjorn asking me to spy on others for him often comes to mind. So you'll enter the phosphate political arena. Whether you will be a pawn or a player remains to be seen. I better make sure you're the latter. What? You want me to believe that you don't want a rabbit at your service? No, because in every game of pawn, the fate of a pawn is often the same, to be sacrificed to ensure the player's victory. In the silence that follows that last sentence, was the implication of what Tenoch had just told me. And now for I know that I will inevitably have to play a role in the politics the kingdom was nominated. But with the way tonight is presenting things, I feel like I'm jumping right into a trap. It's not exactly what I had in mind, I must admit. But that doesn't mean I plan on giving up just yet. If I've come this far, it's certainly not to quit because the reward isn't exactly what I was hoping for. Also, consider what you saw in the hallway in this little conversation first piece of advice. If someone is doing something in a public place, and soon they want to be seen and gain something from it. I guess I'll have to be at least a little careful about what I say too. Not sure if my little performance at the party pleased everyone. Well, at least it's so that you don't take crap from anyone, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Not that I need confirmation on that front, considering how much you resist me. Politics and seduction are two different fields. You should know how often the two overlap. That being said, how do you feel about the contest? Nervous but confident. I think we should win. We don't have much competition from what I heard. I can help you relax if you want. Gwen says his question. Gwen says he questions me with his eyes. He grins as he questions me with his eyes, not trying in the least to hide his intentions, as tempting as it is. This really isn't the time. What I need right now is to focus, not to mention I spent over an hour getting my fur as clean as white as possible, and I don't feel like doing it again after getting your help. You pee on your fur. I really wonder how you live with it. Hey, at least we don't freeze to death. That problem doesn't concern me either. I still don't know how you do it, by the way. Maybe the day you accept it. Maybe the day you accept my offer, I'll tell you. In that case, I'm afraid the mystery is not over for me. But seriously, tonight, I think it would be better if you left. I don't want to be accused of buying your vote. This will last before opening the door to my room again. That's when I will call another question I wanted to ask him. Oh, before you leave, yes? You called the McCann you were talking to Sire at one point. What does that mean? It's just one of the many titles. This is one of the many titles of nobility. If it were translated in your language, it would be something like Lord Master. It's used to refer to slave traders. I don't understand. Akhet clearly isn't capable of doing this sort of thing. So why would Gillard think he's a slave trader? Thinking about that owl, I remember the gold bars under his eyes. Does that have anything to do with it? I know Akhet tends to touch them when he talks about home. I really have to ask him, but not today. He's always going to be nervous and worried, and that will be adding anything else on top of all that. And I'll see you later in the contest. Get ready to be dazzled by our performance. I sure hope so. One last smile tonight enters my room as I collapse in my bed. He definitely gave me something to think about. But I didn't lie either. I really need to get these thoughts out of my head for now and focus on the contest. I'll see about the consequences of this whole thing once I'm a royal bard. Voices echo in the darkness. They sound distant and furious. I can't make out what they're saying, but I'm sure of one thing. I wish they would shut up. For once, I wish I could sleep without being disturbed. That changed the situation drastically. Your empire can't remain idle. Tenoch, I'm not asking you not to react, just to delay the information as long as possible. In light of my father, even if only by omission, I'm certainly not going to take that risk. What are they talking about? And more importantly, why are they talking right next to me? I'm just trying to make sure. I know what you're trying to do, and I totally understand. Because I will be aware of his awakening, whether we like it or not. I might as well warn him myself while making sure I control the information. I open my eyes and realize I'm in my room. It's not exactly where I expected to wake up. As I try to stand up to get a better understanding of the situation, I feel something holding me down, holding my right arm down. What the? A handcuff is tied around my wrist and is connected to the bed by a thin metal chain. Erik, we're awake. Tenoch is beside my bed while Maelbjorn next to him. The lizard smiles at me, trying to keep his usual cheerful expression, but he can't hide the worry in his eyes. What's going on? Why am I tied to my bed? It's just to keep everyone safe. Safe? What are you talking about? Do you remember what happened at the contest? This is important. What happened at? What kind of question is that? I could have forgotten. Yeah, I do. I remember the pain in my back. Everyone stands still and Gillian. The painless furious glare comes back into my mind. I'm unable to continue as a silver runs down the back of my neck. Where is he? Who? Gillian? I simply no response. Outside the hallway, there's no way I'm letting him in here. Tenoch. You almost killed him. What? You know it wasn't his fault. Don't talk about losing control. Not to me. The tension between the two is almost palpable, and I still have no idea what's going on. Can you start grumbling for a moment and try to explain to me what is going on in here? Start grumbling for a moment and try to explain to me what is going on here? You look at each other for another brief moment before Tenoch turns to me with a side. And so during the contest, it seems that your brand appeared. Its awakening destroyed the stained glass windows, froze everyone in time, and caused quite a few other problems. You don't try to, well, let's say his brain absorbs the power of others. He can't control it, but the more he absorbs, the more he loses control of himself, especially over his aggressiveness. What Prince Maelbjorn is trying to say is that his bodyguard couldn't keep control of his own brand, so he beat you up. Is his brand's fault? It's his own fault. Blaming his brand is just an excuse for his lack of control. Tenoch, enough. The lizard lets out a annoying hiss and he looks away. In any case, you were severely injured. Fortunately, Bus was able to heal the most serious injuries almost immediately, but it still took you a day to recover. I've been sleeping for an entire day? Why am I even tied to the bed? You weren't the only one injured. Aeon was able to intercept most of the pieces of glass when time resumed, but some dropped on the cloud. At that moment, without any other information, it was possible to see it as an assassination attempt. Tying you up here was needed to make sure you didn't slip through the fingers, but also to reassure those who were present at the incident. We just have to say you are a prisoner for now. Am I a prisoner? There's a moment of silence, and someone tells me it's not a good sign. It's complicated. Not whether I'm either a prisoner or I'm not. We know that none of what happened was deliberate. Gillian's report and the sudden appearance of your brain confirm that. But there's always a but. But your brain is unique, and therefore we cannot simply let you go. It's too dangerous for you and the others. At first, I hear Lust's voice. The king stands in my doorway, a tired smile on his face. My king, sure I didn't mean to startle you. I'm glad to see you're awake, Erik. The king enters my room to sit on his chair. He turns his head towards Maelbjorn, who's slightly agitated. If I needs help, well, I guess. Will you give him a hand? But Lust, please. The prince lets out a sigh and he nods briefly. Alright, Erik, you should rest. Try to recover. I will do my best. I'm not sure I understand everything that's happening. Too many things are occurring at once when I'm barely awake. As I watch Maelbjorn leave my room, Lust turns to look at me again. He likes you, you know? What? Mel, you made quite an impression on him. To be honest, I think you made quite an impression on everyone here. I would say that's an understatement. Everyone in Frostfang probably knows who you are by now. Could you slow it down a bit, please? I have to admit, I'm not sure I really understand what's going on. Lust flashes a brief smile and he turns to Tenoch. Can you give us a moment? I'd like to speak with Erik in private. Tenoch seems hesitant for a moment. He opens his mouth to speak, but eventually chooses to remain silent. I don't think I've ever seen him like this. It's strange not to see him brimming with his usual confidence. Of course, King Lust. May I also have a moment of your time? When you are done, this is a matter I wish to discuss with you. Lust nods and the lizard leaves the bedroom, but not without winking at me first. All attention is now focused on the king's imposing figure. He still smiles at me entirely. You have caused a lot of trouble, you know? I'm sorry, McKay. I assure you that none of this was my intention. I know, but don't worry. Still, the awakening of your brand caused a lot of chaos. Sorry, but the awakening of my brand? What are you talking about? Did you realize what was happening? Did you really not understand? I don't know. In the middle of all the chaos of pain and panic and the things that didn't make sense, I couldn't think of they are all. That's not how the brands are supposed to appear. There's no pain, usually, and it never happens when we're awake. It's in our sleep that the gods offers us their powers. So why is it different for me? Deep down, I know Lux is telling me the truth. It's the only possible explanation. I feel that there is something different that I have changed. So that leaves only one question. Who? Excuse me? My brand. Which the 8 chose me? Well, you see, this is where things get complicated. You weren't chosen by the usual gods. You bear the brand of a forgetful one. Well, but that's impossible. And yet, it's the only explanation. It doesn't look like anything we know. And given what happened in the context, it looks like you were chosen by NeveN himself. The god time, but this is not what I want. I'm afraid you have no choice. Now I think you can begin to understand your current situation. Your brain can change a lot of things, but no one knows what you're really capable of. The make matters was it is impressively large. Really? Do you want to see it? Of course I do. I didn't even take the time to think about it. My answer came out before I could stop myself. That I'm not living a really strange dream or a very bad joke. Let's get South to approach me. Firmly holding a key. I don't think these things are necessary anymore. You will have to stand up. Your brand's on your back. He then removes the handcuff that was clamping my right arm. I take a moment to wipe my wrist before moving my shirt and stand up to face my mirror. Oh, I wasn't expecting that. So I prefer to take care of what was most urgent to treat. You can always ask the priest to speed up the healing of your bruises later if you wish. My left eye is surrounded by a black circle. My sides are dark purple. John's blows have left their mark, obviously. So you personally heal me? Why? Just because I'm a king doesn't mean I won't use my brand when someone's in need. Thank you. No need to thank me. It's perfectly normal. I've done what I can to ease the pain, but don't do anything too strenuous yet. I then try to gather the courage to turn around and look at my back, which I finally do after a deep sigh. And then I see a brand, my brand, cover my entire back by the gods as big as Tenoch. I continue to stare silently at the many black circles covering my back, intertwining, forming shapes and patterns. I have never seen anything like it. Yet that's not even the strangest thing about it. Are they? They are moving, yes, but it's barely visible since they move so slowly. They seem to rotate on themselves. In African memory, no one has ever heard of a brand that moves when it is not activated. But how is that possible? You are the brand of a forgetful one. Nobody knows what that means. You'll probably get yourself surprised as you learn to master it. I continue to stare at my brand in silence. It's hypnotized by circles. NeveN, why him? And why me? I could have had any other brand. One that's useful to me when I'm singing. But the time's brand, I don't have a clue what I'm going to do with it. Erik, can you sit down? There are other matters we need to discuss. I nod silently. This isn't exactly the time to get lost in my thoughts. Once in my band, I get a can questioning look. Perhaps to start with some good news. We have decided to keep the results of the contest as they were when you're awakening your brand, so it looks like you are a new royal bard. But certain change of subject as well as not to come up with everything else does not help to keep me calm. It doesn't make any sense. Not only did the majority of the participants not get to try their luck, but I myself was interrupted by everything that happened. Not to mention that if the shooting falls on the contestants, that seems like a pretty good reason to postpone the contest. There's got to be something else, some other reason for, obviously. This is an excuse to force me to stay here, right? I didn't really win. It allows us to ensure your protection. To control me, am I right? To make sure that when I control my powers, I will use them for the kingdom's sake. Erik, listen. Yeah, I'm a prisoner here. If I decide to leave, will your guards arrest me? Les runs his hands over his muzzle before he lets out a long sigh. No, you're free to leave if you wish. That's not how I operate. That's not how we operate. Not in Frostfang. I don't intend to change that. The thing about it, your brand makes you unique and powerful. How do you think Kazan Makai will react when they learn of your existence? Do you think they won't try anything if they know you're walking around alone and unprotected? Do you imagine they would give you a choice? Do you believe Makai will miss out on such a valuable slave? My head is spinning. I don't want any of this. I never wanted what's happening to me. I spent years waiting for my plan, hoping it would come, and now, because of it, I'm in constant danger of being shipped off to a foreign land. The gods must be laughing. It's as if they have decided to hold a personal grudge against me. Grandpa, my years on the street was never to defend myself. Bigger, and now this? Will I have a brand now? The gods seem to bring me nothing but trouble. If that's the case, well, fuck them. Fuck the gods. My thoughts are interrupted by Lust's hand resting on my shoulder as he gives me a sympathetic look. It's not all bad. If you are indeed danger right now, I think things can improve. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. After all, if I can trust what Gilad saw, there aren't many people who will be able to stop you once you master your brain. I still have to learn to control it. Which brings me to my other point. You're fortunately in the best possible place to train. Police are experts at mastering their brand. But no one has a plan like mine. That's true, but I don't think the bases are much different, so we will organize your training under our supervision. I have no doubt that you will be able to use your powers quickly. You will be able to check what I can do and how to use it. The look on Lust's face makes me realize that we are both aware of the implication. In that case, it will be an honor to learn from the best priest in the kingdom, my king. Glad to see we agree. Oh, and one more thing. There's someone I'd like you to meet. She's an old friend. I'm sure the two of you will get along just fine. I don't see any reason to decline. I always enjoy meeting new people. Perfect. Let's then stands up, give me one last look. I'd love to continue chatting, but unfortunately my duties call. I need to get back to contest guests before Aeon insults them all. For all his qualities, patience has never been my husband's forte. He raised at me with an amused look before leaving the room, and then closed the door behind him without giving me time to reply. Well, great. What am I supposed to do now? I knew that coming here would force me into the political games of the kingdom, but I never thought it become so important. And it's not even because of my talents, it's just this fucking brand. I'm going to become the most famous person in the kingdom, and it won't be for what I accomplish, only for what I am, without any merit of my own. I hate that. I want to be known because I'm a bard, because I'm the best bard. Not because some goddamn bastard pointed at me and said, this guy is special. I almost wish that my powers were useless. Let it be something like predicting tomorrow's weather, so that I can be left alone. I lay alongside as I drop on the bed, where I crash against the chains of the handcuff I left here. Fuck me, this is not my day. I pull on them to throw them away before I realize that the other end is still attached to my bed. I'll have to ask for the key to get rid of these things. I'll keep them, after all. Not all situations where you find yourself tied to a bed are unpleasant. No, Erik, this is not the time. There are other things to think about now. Like that person Les wants you to meet. I wonder who that is. You talked about old friend, but well, that doesn't really help me. It could be anyone. I hear my door open again. It looks like I won't be allowed to be undisturbed today. It's Tenoch who just entered, a huge smile lighting up his face. It's different from the look he had when he left. Usually people knock before they enter. And I was thinking that you'd be happy to see me. That's another point is a matter of politeness. In that case, I beg your pardon, royal board, sir. Oh gosh, no, don't do that. I'll try to restrain myself, but I promise nothing. He then sits next to me on the edge of the bed, still smiling. You're making me nervous. Why are you smiling like that? What? I can't smile? You look like you've been given the biggest birthday present in the world. Oh, that's just a face I have when I get what I want. In that, in that case, in this case, where is it? Should I be worried? It depends on whether you're a good student or not. What? You're looking at your new teacher. A man's convinced us to let me teach you how to use your brain, at least the basics anyway. What? But how? A lot of charm exit arguments are success. I don't want to brag, but I'm pretty good at my job, you know? Wait a second, you negotiated the opportunity to teach me how to use my brand? Why? Well, for one, because I like you. I'm certainly not going to pass up the opportunity to spend more time in your company. Tonight. Most because with a sense of AI, no one here has a brand anywhere near the size of yours or mine. Controlling something that powerful takes some expertise. Believe me, I know myself. Plus, I have reason to believe that your brand is not as unique as everyone seems to think. I think if anyone else had been branded by NeveN, everyone would know it. I'm not talking about the God who chose it. I'm talking about the way it appeared. While blowing up half the building, you mean? It appeared with pain, from what Gillard could tell me, and it was accompanied by a gigantic demonstration of its power. It's not the first time this happened, and no one has heard of it. I mean, that's not exactly how it normally happens. People will have discussed it here and there. No one has been, no one has been as spectacular as you, I think. But we'll discuss that tomorrow. There are some things I want to check first. What? But you can't leave me like that. If what you say is true, there's clearly something going on. Oh, but I can. Oh, but I can. I will leave you that. Your little face full of confusion is far too cute for me to tell you more. How dare you to? That's not the way to talk to your teacher, Mr. Erik. Will I have to punch your way? Yes, you can. Is this how you get back at me for teasing? He smiles as he approaches to tap my nose with a finger. Maybe it is. If I have to wait, you can do the same. In my case, the wait is worth it. I hope it is for you too. I don't know if it will be as pleasant as you promised, but I swear to tell you everything I know tomorrow. He stands up while stretching, giving me a great view of his body. From the look of his eyes, it's definitely on purpose. Not that I'm complaining, I've never been against a free show. In the meantime, you should get some rest. I know you spent a whole day sleeping, but the healing process must have drained your strength. Yeah, but why does it take so long for me to heal? To not suddenly look more serious, I feel the heat in the room rise abruptly. Then went all out. He lost control of his brain and lashed out at you. Let's explain it to me. I don't think it's really Gillard's fault. Of course it is. He knows his limits. He knows what he has to do to stop it. It is Gillard's lost control that upsets Tenoch, the fact that I got hurt. That's easier. I've rarely seen him pissed off about anything yet, even when things aren't going his way. I don't. Look, I know he didn't genuinely mean to hurt you, but the facts are what they are. He sighs and put on his usual smile again. It's not hard to tell that he's forcing it, no, but I don't think tonight is really trying to hide it. I appreciate his anger for what was done to me, but if Geralt was truly under the influence of his brand, I find it hard to believe that what he did to me was his fault. Anyway, I have to go. As I told you, it would be good for you to rest. Come and find me in my room in the morning. We can start your lessons. He eventually leaves and I find myself alone in my room again. I have no idea what I'm supposed to think about all this. It's just too much, too many things, too big for me. I don't know what I can do. Wish Rhaegar were here. He could probably advise me. I lie on my bed again, once again. Maybe Tenoch is right. Maybe a little sleep will help me put my thoughts together. I barely close my eyes when I'm awakened by someone knocking on my door. Is it really too much to ask to be left alone just for a few hours? There's another knock. Lord Erik, are you awake? Lord Lust sent me. I don't know that voice. I don't think I ever heard anyone speak with such a strong mechanic accent. But sent by Lust? That must be the friend he talked about. Just a moment, I'm coming. Just a moment, I'm coming. My clothes, let's not repeat. a mistake of last time. Make sure everything's in place this time. I was probably dressed. I opened the door, instinctively looking up before I realized that for once I'm not talking to someone taller than me. Before me is a small fennec of advanced age. She is all smiles and carries a small wicker basket covered with white cloth. I'll be honest, it's not what I expected when Lux mentioned her. Lord Erik, it is a pleasure to finally meet you. Hope I didn't wake you up. I know it's still early in the morning. Oh no. I had to get up. Anyway, excuse me, you all late? You all late? Simply semi. Just a moment, I'm coming. My clothes, let's not repeat the mistake of last time. Make sure everything's in place this time. Let's probably just open my door, instinctively looking up, but I realized that for once I'm not talking to someone taller than me. In front of me is a small fennec of advanced age. She is all smiles and carries a small wicker basket covered with a white cloth. I'll be honest, it's not what I expected when Lux mentioned her. Oh yeah, it's a pleasure to finally meet you. Hope I didn't wake you up. I know it's still early in the morning. Oh no. I had to get up anyway. Excuse me, you are a lady? Simply simi. I'm no lady at my age. I don't care much about these formalities. In that case, simply call me Erik. I don't think I'm ready to be called Lord just yet. Good, my suggestion walk in the gardens. I picked up some nuts on the way. Just a cloud covering her basket revealed a whole collection of bright red apples. I'm certainly not going to pass up a nice meal. I'd love to. Without further comment, Sydney turns and begins to walk down the hall. She's quite lively for someone her age. By the time I close my door, she's almost at the stairs. I trot after her and then let her guide me through the castle. Excuse me if I sound nosy, but I have I haven't been. I'm the curious type. Who exactly are you? I mean, what role do you have here? Me? Well, I'm nobody really. Just King Lux's maiden. I help him manage his duties and make his life as easy as possible, nothing more. That's how a king thought you might benefit from the presence of a friend, someone wiser than you. I have plenty of friends your way, and I'm already extremely wise, man. I saw your little act at the party, and while I liked your attitude and the look you left on Lady Astrid's face, I'm not exactly what I'd call wise. It's not exactly what you call wise. Alright. You and this one sent me, but I don't intend to leave it at that. We eventually reached the gardens. I must admit I am impressed by what I see. Although neatly trimmed, they are not perfectly ordered, leaving a certain natural look to the whole. Shimmy eventually sits down on the bench, begging me to join her as she hands me one of the apples from her basket. That settled, I begin to munch on it absentmindedly as I look at the gardens around me. This is my favorite part of the castle. I can spend my day here watching my grandchildren while I play. So, you have a big family? 3 sons, all married, all with children, and some of their children are about to have children of their own. Her smile widens, beaming with joy as she talks about them. It's probably a grandparent thing. I remember Grandpa sometimes had some expression when he talked about me. It must be nice to have such a big family, to know that someone will always be there to help us. There's nothing stopping you from starting your own. I'm afraid my preferences don't really allow me to produce a lot of children. You can always adopt them. Our kings have a son, don't they? They do, but I don't think it's for me anyway. I value my freedom far too much for that. You're young. Things tend to change with age. But you're right. You should enjoy your freedom while you can. It's precious. Somebody's gaze is lost in the distance. It's not very hard to understand why. There's a high chance feeling something she lacked of once. Although there's mostly one kind of Achaean that tends to come to phosphating to sell permanently the runaway slaves. Your current situation must be unpleasant for you. If you love your freedom as much as you say, well, I am not oppressed at least. If I say it's because I want to. Really? No. I have no choice. Not really. Well, no one would hold me back if I walked through the doors, of course, but that's not the point, is it? If I walk out here, I'll become easy prey. I don't have to me to defend myself, not at the moment anyway. Is that really such a bad thing to have to say here? I mean, after all, you said yourself it's only temporary. It will last until you learn how to use your plan. But how long will it take? Will it take? And who knows if there will be something else to keep me here afterwards. I'm not a fool. I know that my plan is a political and military asset. I've seen what I can do. Maybe the problem isn't necessarily your situation, but how you perceive it. What do you mean? As a fleeing mechanic, I met the kings when Lord Lust offered me to enter his service. I accepted immediately. Me and my former companions resented me after that. In their eyes, I had simply exchanged one master for another. I will continue to take orders and obey. But for me, there was a fundamental difference, a difference that made my service not an act of submission, but an act of free applicant. He chose to serve. Second, there is nothing to stop you from doing the same. After all, that's what you wanted to do by being world born, right? You knew you would have to serve the kingdom no matter what. The difference in the nature of that service and the influence you will be able to have. You'll be capable of great things, Erik. I have no doubt about it. Use this power to help our kingdom become better. He smiles at me again as he takes another apple to bite into it, leaving me to ponder. It's true that I've been mostly focused on the negative aspects of what happened to me until now. But Simi is right. Staying here is what I was planning to do anyway. It's up to me to carve my path here with the tools at my disposal. Thank you. You're most welcome. Gee, young man, I told you could use a friend here. Perhaps I should tell our king to be wary. I could steal his maiden. Simi laughs softly as she rises her feet. Don't be afraid to try, but you may find he is a tough one to convince. That's fine. I'm not the kind of person to back down for a challenge. Besides, my charm is legendary. The fan leans in to pinch my cheek. You're not as handsome as you think, you old boy, especially in that outfit. Hey, my audience seems more than appreciative of my attire. She laughs softly. So you be going? I believe that you have an appointment for your first session. Oh shit, with all that's going on, I've got that Tenoch is waiting to teach me how to use my plan. I stand up and wave to Simi before Storm moves towards the castle. Thanks again, Simi, for the apples and for everything else. I hope to have more opportunities to talk with you. No doubt, we'll meet again. Now go. I stand up and wave at Simi as I rush toward the castle, heading for the living quarters. It's only when I get halfway up the stairs that I realize something. How does she know when if I have an appointment with Tenoch? Tenoch opens the door only moments after I knock. It looks like someone was here to see me. I have a lot to tell you. You have a lot to learn. Plus, if we progress quickly, we can take some time to relax afterwards, if you know what I mean. So I look falsely offended as I blink my hand to my chest. You would dare to take advantage of someone who wants to learn? Have you no say, Mr. Baxter? Tenoch laughs as he grabs my wrist to pull me into his bedroom. The first time I get to see the interior of foreign ambassador's quarters. And I'm instantly jealous. I obviously expected it to be better than mine, but not to this extent. Not only is this room much larger than mine, but it's also richly decorated. The walls of cards are embellished with masterfully crafted fabrics, and a huge carpet covers the floor. In addition to the bed, there's also a working area with a desk and a variety of materials. There's a large sofa covered with cushions. Everything is impeccably tidy. I can only see a few of Tenoch's personal items here and there. The first, which sits in the corner of my room, is a suit of armor displayed on a mannequin. I hope it's a sound more armor because I honestly can't see what it's supposed to protect. It's just composed of a few pieces of metal meant to protect. It's just composed of a few pieces of metal that are meant to cover the top of the muzzle, the forearms, the upper torso, as well as the thighs. It's all very pretty, but it doesn't protect much. That said, I'm sure Tenoch will look quite sexy in it. Right next to it in its display case is a long, similar and unadorned metallic spear. Unlike the armor, it looks purely functional. I must admit I was expecting something more flamboyant. Two other interesting objects apart from the armor and the spear are hanging above his desk. There are two wooden plaques with pyrographic inscriptions both depicting the same landscape, a long beach with a setting sun. After a while, the first looks as if it was perfectly executed by a man, the slightest trace of burnt wood contributing to the overall work. The second looks as if it was made by a child. The wood is charred in places, and large black spots are easily visible here and there. The line is also much more erratic. I find it hard to see why anyone would want to hang this on their wall. Is the inspection going well? Oh, sorry, I was just curious to see your room. It's not that hard to get in there, right? It's not that hard to get in there, you know. Man, but don't forget that I'm here with chest intentions. I'm actually jealous, though. Your room is much better than mine. My nobility has to come with some advantages, after all. Yeah, I guess it's only fair. Maybe I should ask for better quarters too, since apparently I'm a world bard now. I might as well get something out of it. When you put it that way, it doesn't sound like you appreciate your victory. Then you come here for this exact reason, to become a member of the court. And then I decided to throw myself on the couch. Yes, but not like that. It was never really about the title. I mean, obviously I want to be a world bard, but it's hard to explain. We got time. Try to elaborate. It's just, I have the title, sure, but I haven't earned it. I haven't proven that I deserve it. My biggest competition to even get to sing. And what? It's still a victory. It doesn't matter if you deserve it or not. You have overcome your opponent. That's all that matters. No, I want to know that I deserve my victory. I want to know that I won because I became better. I couldn't prove all people know. I'm just a loudmouth who won because he got lucky. I just don't want that impressive to be my legacy, that's it. Really? If that's all it is about, I can fix your problem easily. What, how? How will you say is your biggest competition? Let you ask it, perhaps. I couldn't prove it. For all people know, I'm just a loudmouth who won because he got lucky. I just don't want that impressive to be my legacy, that's it. Really? If that's all it is about, I can fix your problem easily. Well, how? Who would you say is your biggest competition? Like asterisks, perhaps? Yeah, probably. And I can set up a musical duel for you, and of course, where everyone can hear you. No asterisk well enough, so you will not refuse me that courtesy. The rest will be up to you. Prove to everyone that you are better. Can you really do that? It won't be anything official. You won't be able to put your title back on the line, but that certainly be a problem. I like the idea, yeah. I really like it, thank you. You see, there are advantages when you are in good books of an ambassador. He nudges me in the side as he smiles at me. The thought of being able to somehow prove that I deserve the position I've earned lift my spirits. Between that and my conversation with Simi, the day is looking pretty good. However, I'm not just here to talk about what is weighing on my heart. I have a slightly more important goal right now. But we're not exactly here for that, I believe. We're supposed to talk about my brand, how to use it. Oh yes, of course, but before that, I'd like to talk a bit about how it awakened. He suddenly looks much more serious. As I told you yesterday, although your God is unique, I don't think your brand is necessarily the only one of its kind. Tenoch told us that you were screaming in pain when it happened. Yeah, I felt like someone was ripping my back and my hair apart. But it didn't start like that, did it? At first it was just a pain at the base of your neck, which disappeared before coming back for good. How do you know that? I haven't told anyone. I told you your brand is not unique. That's how mine awakened too, with a very little explosion. I was lucky that no one was with me when it happened. But how? That's not how the gods brand us usually. Indeed, it seemed like a strange coincidence to me. But I sent some of my men to do some research here and there, as I told you we are not the only ones. In southern Kazal, in Ochtiklan, A young nobleman froze half his house with when his brand appeared a year ago. 6 years ago, the free city of Carguedo near northern Philosophy saw the inhabitants of 3 of his districts unable to use their brand for 2 whole days. A brand of a walker might be, and I've only heard rumors about the last one, but it seems like that a border road to Akhet was plunged into darkness for several hours a few years ago. 4 brands, 5 of yours, all appeared with an explosive display of power, and the ones I know, which means yours, Huey's brand, and mine, are all acceptably large. Maybe that's the whole reason, isn't it? Ours are larger than average. I thought about it and asked Aeon how his brand awakened. It's almost as big as ours, after all. And it appeared like everyone else in his sleep, without pain, so the answer to this whole conundrum is somewhere else. And that's not all that strange about these brands. Before I have time to answer, Tenoch raised his hand and gently put it against my cheek. I can feel the soft heat coming from it warming my face. I won't deny that it's far from unpleasant. Tenoch, you know I appreciate that kind of attention, but we were just talking. I'm trying to show you something, don't move. He takes a long, deep breath. This might be a bit painful, sorry. What do you mean painful? What is it? I suddenly feel like my cheek is on fire. Tenoch's hands now are hot as a furnace. I let out a yelp of pain and pull my head back as I glare at the lizard. Are you fucking stupid? Is this a joke? It's not funny. I let out a yelp of pain and pull my head back as I glare at the lizard. Are you fucking stupid? If this is a joke, it's not funny. Erik, look at my back. He points to his spine and I can see that air is distorted by the heat he radiates. I do as he says though, curious as to what is. Your brand, you're not using it. But how? It can't be. You must be using your brand. No, what you just felt is my natural temperature. I'm extremely hot in every sense of the word. He gave me a playful look, but I'm having trouble playing this game right now. How is that even possible? I know reptiles can handle the heat better than us, but still. His back then starts to glow with a soft orange light. I can feel, even from a distance, the heat from his paw slowly diminishing. You have to use your brand to lower my body temperature, yes. I've gotten pretty good at it. In the beginning it was difficult. It was definitely more difficult. I was regularly or unconscious at home. It's much harder than here. But that's not normal, is it? Strangely enough, no, it's not normal. We Kazalians don't usually burn internally all the time. Sure, make fun of me, but that's a lot to process. You have to give me some time. I know, but that's why I wanted to talk to you. I was able to discuss with the Huey's brand I mentioned earlier. He seemed to be suffering from similar. But that's not normal, is it? Strangely enough, no, it's not normal. We Kazalians don't usually burn internally all the time. Haha, sure, make fun of me, but that's a lot to process. You have to give me some time. I know, but that's why I wanted to talk to you. I was able to discuss with Huey's brand that I mentioned earlier. He seems to be suffering from similar side effects too. He's constantly cold. So if your brand is similar, it's possible that I have that kind of drawback too, right? Unfortunately, yes. I'd rather you didn't. And so far you seem to be doing well, but you haven't really used your brand yet. When you put it like that, it doesn't make me want to use it. And yet you have to. If I wasn't able to control my temperature, I'd be dead years ago. Even so, I had to flee here. Wait, is that why you live in Phosphine? For the most part, yes, my mission as ambassador is real. The cold weather of the country is necessary for, well, my survival. Plain and simple, at least until I get my powers under total control. So that couldn't have been pleasant to leave your home. But I can't complain, besides you saw that I found something to enjoy here. He burst out laughing as he passed my by. I've got to hand it to him. It's hard to break his spirit. Sadly, I can't really say the same about myself. Is he right? On top of everything else, are there going to be consequences to the use of my brand? And if so, what will they be? The memories that came to my mind during the contest are coming back once again. Moments that never happened, but which I remember perfectly. Will this be related? I don't know. And even though I'm not sure, I want to know. Tenoch is right. Staying in the dark will only bring me problems in the long run. So there's only one thing left to do. So go ahead and explain to me how you do this thing. I pointed my bag and he rolled his eyes. To start with, you should show some respect, whether you like it or not. It's a part of who you are. Your brand is as much as a piece of your identity as any part of the. So go ahead. I'll use the thing. I pointed my back. He rolls his eyes. To start with, you should show some respect, whether you like it or not. It's a part of who you are now. Your brain is as much as a piece of your identity as any other body part. I'll try, but I'm not promising anything right now. I'll be honest with you. It's not my favorite part of myself. Far from it. Well, I can understand that. There are other parts that are much more enjoyable to watch. Shouldn't we be trying to be more serious and focus a bit for once? I always prefer to learn while you're having fun. I'm not sure that kind of fun helps learning well, at least when it comes to learning about brands. But maybe I can teach you a thing or two later after what I told you. I'm a master of my art. I give him a knowing look, and I'm awarded with a laugh. In that case, let's hurry. I can't wait any longer to take this kind of lesson. I said maybe. We will see. With a smile, he raises his hand in front of him and holds up 3 fingers. Let's start with some theory. I'm afraid this is mandatory. Right. Rose a bit. In case you didn't know, a brand can have 3 different states. He lowers his first finger. During the first one, it's dormant. That's our current situation, where we don't actually do anything with it. I feel like I've always, more or less, mastered that aspect. Sure, smartass. Second state, the awakening. Your brand is glowing. You are ready to use it, but its power is not active. It's a waiting state mostly. You're getting ready to do something with it. The only problem is that you're also likely to exhaust yourself much faster while it's awake. In demonstration, Tenoch lowers his second finger and lights his brand. The soft orange glow then starts to illuminate his back. So far I follow. So I guess the third stage is when you do something with it. Yeah, you see? You can be focused where you want to, but yes, this stage is called activation. You use your power directly and you control it as well as its intensity. Instead of lowering his last finger, he conjures a small flame above it, and it dances for a brief moment before extinguishing it. So far, nothing too complicated. The problem is how to get from one state to another. An experience you just have to think about. However, for beginners, there's what is called an awakening gesture or active awakening. And what of it? And what of what? An experience you just have to think about it. However, for beginners, is what is called an awakening gesture or active awakening. And what of what? I guess we've gone beyond your ability to focus. Hey, there's a lot of new stuff to learn in a short time. So give me a you. You just let me stand up to face me. So your awakening gesture is basically a motion that you're going to make while focusing on your brain to awaken it. That's where things get a little bit complicated. Each person has their own awakening gesture. It depends on your personality, your habits, or even your profession. So it's going to be up to you to find it. But if it can help you understand the concept, here's mine. He raises his head and briefly crosses his arms in front of his chest before spreading them as far apart as he can as he arches his torso. The brand on his back immediately begins to glow. But tell me you're doing what I think you're doing. You know I love to make a spectacle of myself. Just like you, it's only right that I greet my audience and give them a chance to admire me. You bow to your audience. If I want them a chance to look at my magnificent body, never. I can hardly argue with him on that one. I mean, I'm not going to complain about a nice show, especially when he clearly wants me to enjoy it. Good, now it's your turn. Close your eyes and try to visualize your plan. Once you have it clearly in your head, try to do whatever comes first to attribute. Just whatever comes first, that doesn't look very accurate. And the first gesture you think of, what feels natural to you, you probably won't find it right away anyway. Is that a challenge? Get ready to see my back glow, because I'm going to see it on the first try. Now stop talking and prove me wrong. It shouldn't be that difficult after all. I just need to find a gesture that I make frequently with my brain in mind. Close my eyes to focus. Only really glimpsed at my brain once, but the image of it is etched in my brain. Slowly I picture the circles appearing in the triangle in front of me. So there's something wrong. But there's something wrong. No, it's not exactly that. There is something missing. Taken by a certain burst of inspiration, I set the circles in motion in my mind, extremely slowly. So much so that I only notice it if I stop paying attention to them for a few seconds. Perfect, that's it. That's my plan. Now I just have to find the gesture that goes with it. Let's see, something I do frequently. Well, let's start with the basics. I start to wiggle my hips slowly, swinging them from side to side while I raise my arms above my head. What are you doing? I open one eye to give Tenoch a amused look as I exaggerate my sway. I'm dancing. You told me to pick a motion that comes naturally to me. I don't remember seeing you dance like that at the party. Maybe there were children in the courtyard. This dance for adults only. Really? You'll have to show me the details later, but for now, it doesn't seem to be what we're looking for. Try another move. And that's exactly what I do. For more than half an hour, I go through every gesture I can think of. I wink, I stick my tongue out, I do a handstand, I even try a good slap on the ass. And nothing, not even a little flicker on my back. I end up flopping down on Tenoch's bed alongside. He's still standing in front of me, a compassionate smile on his face. Don't worry, nobody figures it out on the first day. In truth, I've ever known people who found their awakening gesture on their first day, but for whom it still didn't work because they weren't focused enough. So am I going to have to try all this again? Until you figure it out, yes, but if it helps and enjoyable as the show is, I think you can drop the little dance. I doubt it's what you're looking for. Yeah, you never know. Yeah, imagine the court's face if I start dancing like that every time I want to activate my brain. I'm sure it would be worth it. You know what? You're right. It would be worth it. Try again, just in case. He bursts out laughing so much so that I have to calm down to be able to sit on the edge of the bed. So what now? Now, you keep trying until you have your awakening gesture. There's not much more we can do. It's up to you to work on that for now. And for everything else, the fact that our brains don't work like others, Tenoch shrugs. For now, nothing. I have been looking for other signs of similar brains, but I can't do much more. I'd like to do more. What will you do? Go explore the world on your own? We have other responsibilities here. We could talk to someone about that, couldn't we? Do you really think I haven't already? Lesson Aeon are well aware of the reasons for my presence. That's partly why I was able to ask to be your teacher, by the way. So we wait? We wait. And you practice. The sooner you learn to use your brain, the better. Stand up with a long sigh. Now, I guess it's time for me to leave you alone. I'm not kicking you out, you know. I know, but I need to relax a bit. Besides, some fresh air would do me good, I think. As you wish, my door is always open if you have any problems or questions. Unless you hear I'm with someone, of course. I promise I won't bother his lordship again when he's busy. I smile as I walk towards the door, opening it slightly, and then I stop. I didn't lie, I really do need to relax a bit, but getting some fresh air isn't the only way to do that, right? Besides, Tenoch and I have been circling each other for a while now. We were both cleared up for a little game, plus the promise I made to Ragor was only valid until the contest. But there's not really much holding me back anymore. Erik? Talk about with a long smile and slam my bug. The sound bug gets the door to close it. You know what? Before I go, there's one last awakening gesture I'd like to try. Oh, I think I'm willing to sacrifice myself to help you, of course. We smile each other as I sway towards him. He clearly understands what I'm implying. I'm sure we'll find a way to reward your sacrifice. I'm facing the lizard. I grab him by the collar, pulling on it to force him to lower his head. I've always loved doing that, forcing them to come to my height. Why don't you show me what you can do? He smiled before taking a taste of my lips. The kiss is long and passionate. There's no tenderness here, just a mutual need to satisfy our desires. His hand slides up my back, pulling me close to him, while I hold his collar tightly to do the same. For a few seconds, nothing else exists but our two embracing bodies, and then, after a moment that seems far too short, Tenoch finally raises his head to smile at me. So, did it work? I don't know. I think I might have felt a little something at the end. We should do it again just to be sure. Yeah, just to be sure. He leans in again to kiss me a second time. This kiss is just as enjoyable as the first, and this time I can feel his tail slowly wrapping itself around my ankle. I groan and escapes my lips, and he lightly bites them. But I let him do it. I quite like it. We end up pulling our heads back again, looking at each other with a slight pant. That's him. Tenoch finally gets up, rubs his crotch with a towel, puts on his loincloth again. Ooh, that's the same. I was enjoying the view. I looked down for a second, and although it's tempting, unfortunately I can't stay all day cuddling you in my bed. I would have enjoyed it though. Tenoch leans in, giving me one last kiss. I can imagine, but you also have something to do, I'm afraid. What is it exactly? Taking a bath, from what I understand, it's not a good idea to leave all that stuff in your fur for too long. He has a point. With a sigh, I get up and pick up my clothes scattered around the room. Should I come back tomorrow? Oh wait, I didn't know you were so insatiable. For my train, idiot. Oh yeah, well, I mean, no, that won't be necessary unless you find your awakening gesture by then. I tell you, until you have it, there's not much I can teach you. If you don't find it in 3 days, we'll look for ideas together. Alright, in that case, Mr. Ambassador, I'll leave you with your political entanglements, while I'll go take care of myself. I bow exaggerately and straighten up to stick my tongue out at him. Stop acting foolish and take a bath. He laughs as I walk out of the room in my cheeriest mood. Well, that was more than pleasant, I won't lie, neither. Especially after everything else. The uniqueness of my brand, the fact that I can have side effects, my possessions are well aboard. My possession. But with all this chaos, I've totally forgotten about Akhet. Poor bird must have been really sick and I didn't even check on him. I promise the first thing I do once my thoughts are interrupted when I abruptly walk into someone else. And that someone else happens to be the Crown Prince. Erik, are you alright? Yeah, sorry. I was lost in thought. You shouldn't do that in the middle of the corridor. I might have to throw a quick back at him, but I see that the bear is completely exhausted. Oh, are you alright? No offense, but you look like shit. As subtle as ever, I see. But yes, I'm alright. Having demands a reaction to your brand's awakening was more tiring than I thought, that's all. Sorry. It's not your fault, but your time was impeccable. I wanted to see you. Oh? Tomorrow late morning, the council will gather to be honest, decide what to do with you. What to do with? Well, let's assume me that I wouldn't be a prisoner. I know, and I doubt he'll back down on his promise, but we can't risk anything happening to you. We have to act whatever we choose to do. Well, that was more than pleasant. I won't lie, neither. Especially after everything else. Uniqueness of my brand, the fact that it can have side effects, my position well aboard. My position, but with all this chaos, I've totally forgotten about Akhet. The poor bird must have been really sick, and I didn't even check on him. I promise the first thing I do once My thoughts are interrupted when I abruptly walk into someone else. Not someone, and that someone else happens to be the Crown Prince. Erik, are you alright? Yeah, sorry. I was lost in thought. You shouldn't do that in the middle of a corridor. I raise my hand to throw a quip back at him, but I see that the bear looks completely exhausted. Are you alright? No offense, but you look like shit. As subtle as ever. I see, but yes, I'm alright. Having the man's reaction to your boy's awakening was more tiring than I thought. That's all. Sorry. It's not your fault, but your timing is impeccable. I wanted to see you. Oh, tomorrow, late morning, the council will gather to, well, to be honest, decide what to do with you. What to do with? Well, Les assured me that I wouldn't be a prisoner. I know I doubt he'll back down on his promise, but we can't let anything happen to you. We have to act, whatever we choose to do. And do I have a say in this meeting? That's precisely what we have to talk about. You are invited to participate not only because you're the top of the day, but as a royal bard you have a place there. You have to represent the arts and artists. I'd like you to come by my bedroom first, if you don't mind. I wish to give you some advice. Yeah, I'll come, but are you sure this isn't an excuse to lure me into your room, dear Prince? But you know, there's no need for that. Not now, Erik. I don't have time for that kind of foolishness. The only thing I'm interested in right now is a good nap. Fine, I won't keep you any longer. I'll come by in the morning. Now go rest. Thanks, and see you tomorrow. I watched the prince walk away, and then I realized that his pace betrays his fatigue. He doesn't even try to hide anymore. So that's another part to add to the list of things that I have to keep in mind. Great. With my luck, by the end of the evening, I'll be told I'm married or something like that. I really need a bath right now. Not even just to clean myself anymore, but to relax again. We continue. Hello everyone. This is where the first chapter focused on Tenoch ends. We hope you enjoyed the beginning of this part of the story. If you want more information about NeveN, feel free to follow us on Twitter. We also have Discord allowing you to chat among community members. Finally, you would like to support our project. We also have a Patreon that offers you serious benefits such as bills 2 weeks in advance, but also unique stories about the characters of NeveN. If you like the BM, please also feel free to rate us on Instagram. It will help us a lot. Once again, a huge thank you to everyone, and see you in a month for the first chapter of Akhet.